She says you're like the most selfish, immature.
Wait, I'm selfish?
Yeah, stubborn.
But this comes down to a basic principle. How do you justify the action you did?
Because I'm selfish and I'm young and I want to do what I want to do without being stopped. Yeah, I definitely am.
You
I guess I'm selfish then.
don't care at all about the interests of the child.
You cannot name me one non-selfish reason for having kids. Please go ahead.
We got a responsibility to the people in our lives.
Go ahead, tell me.
Okay, so Les, let me ask you this question. Would you be in support of offing your kid outside of the womb out of selfish reasons?
Repeat that, it cut out.
Would you support offing children outside of the womb for selfish reasons?
Again, unaliving a sentient being who is out of the womb is not the same thing as unaliving or having an abortion.
How?
You can't move the goalpost.
Because it's not living, it's not breathing on its own, it can't survive on its own.
Is it dead?
Nobody can survive on their own. The baby surely can't survive on its own. What happens if you leave a newborn baby alone?
I was a newborn vampire weeping at the beauty of the night.
I'm asking you a simple question. Does a newborn need another person? Does a newborn, hold on, does a newborn need another person to survive?
No.
Madam, you are disingenuous beyond words.
Really? So if I have a newborn with me right now, and I just go put it in my room, and I leave it there for 2 weeks. I hope
you don't have a daughter, you poor thing.
If I leave it there for 2 weeks, what is going to happen to her? Is she going to live or die?
A newborn can still lay in its crib for a few hours or an hour and being fine. Like, you sound stupid. Obviously leaving a newborn baby for 2 weeks is going to make it die. Duh.
Yeah.
Duh.
What the?
Yeah, that is correct. Yeah, duh. That's what
Duh.
I was trying to get you. You're seeing that the child actually depends.
Don't overtalk me.
The child depends on a mother or some sort of guardian or somebody to look after it, right?
And that's not the same thing as someone living off of your body and developing off of your body.
Let me ask you another question.
Either you are being disingenuous, or you do not fully understand your own theory.
Would you go so far to say? Would you venture to say that this child outside of the womb, that we are obligated to care for that child?
We got a responsibility to the people in our lives.
If you give birth to it?
Yeah. Are you obligated to care for that child?
There's adoption for a reason.
Let's say that adoption isn't available. Are you obligated to care for that child?
Well, good thing we live in a world where adoption is available. So what is your point?
Just a simple question. It's a very
because you're talking
hypothetical.
Because you're talking hypotheticals that aren't possible.
Sure. We're talking about a very unique situation when it comes to pregnancy. I'm trying to understand how you reason
like
the world.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Do you believe that obligation exists between the mother and the child outside the womb?
It can also mean duty, obligation, even God.
If the mother doesn't feel like having a child,
It means one who has no sense of moral obligation whatsoever.
Y'all want to take away abortion, so why take away adoption? If she wants to give
can you just engage with it? I think that we might actually find some agreement here if you just maybe drop the pride a bit, be a bit humble.
Come on, Stu. Humble yourself in front of your loved ones and millions of strangers. And me. It's do or die time.
You might see that we think similarly about this issue.
Do you want me to answer your question, yes or no?
I do, but you're not answering it. That's the problem.
I am, though.
You were not.
I am.
The question is that obligation there between the mother and the child outside the
womb?
womb?
Tell your fucking mods to stop talking shit in the comments.
Is that obligation there, Liz, between the child and the mother outside the womb?
No.
It's not. So
It means one who has no sense of moral obligation whatsoever.
It's great we live in a world where adoption is a thing. So next question.
Liz, it's great that we do live in a world where we can take your obligation away from you and raise your kids. But unfortunately, that's not the reality across the entire world. That has not been the reality in the entire scope of this country. And it's totally fair to test your reasoning by giving you a hypothetical.
If you're against adoption
and
you're against abortion, so what do you want? Do you want just all women who get pregnant to be mothers?
I'm not against adoption. I think adoption is fine. But let's be very clear.
And let's be clear about this.
You are obligated to care for your own children. We have now released you of that obligation and are caring for your children as a society.
So a woman can't get an abortion.
No, hold on.
Let's can't give it up for adoption.
Let's be clear. Let's be clear about this statement as well.
And let's be clear about this.
Unless you believe, right, unless you believe it is good to let children pass away, we as a society, as a people, have relieved you of your responsibilities to raise your child. So I'm all for adoption, but let's not act like it wasn't on you to care for your child. And the only way it would not be on you to care for your child is if you believed in some sort of principle where it is okay to let children pass away. And I will tell you right now, I don't believe in that. I don't think that's a good principle. I don't think that is something we should hold up high.
Well, guess what? I liked having sex with my ex, and I got pregnant, and I had an abortion.
Yeah, she wants to be some immature little bitch and blow everybody. That's
you off your kid. You off your kid.
Oh well, cry. You're being really immature. I really don't.
Sorry to hear that.
I don't.
James, I'm sorry. I have to disconnect because she's not actually here for a conversation. It's petting me off.